Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Good Monday morning to you all. Hope you guys are doing well out there, having a great start to your day, feeling well on this beautiful Monday morning. Certainly hope you guys all had a great weekend and having a great start to that work week. I got you an update on what's going to happen weather-wise for your Monday. There's a couple features to talk about. Got some moisture flying across the Great Lakes region. We'll begin to enter the Northeast later in the 24-hour period that we're about to break down. Then we got a lot of moisture flying around out west, especially the Pacific Northwest. We'll speak on that. We'll talk about how temperatures are continuing to be on that warming trend across a lot of the country. We have a zonal flow set up across the country this morning. We'll talk a little bit about what that means here in a second. But it continues to be pretty quiet. There's no extreme weather out there one way or the other. And if you've been tuning in over the last few videos, I've been talking about that. And if you kind of want to know what's coming up next over the next, between now and the next 14 days or so, I give you an idea of that. And last night's video, we broke that down in great detail. Of course, we're more confident on really what's in front of us, like between now and the next week. But getting into next week obviously becomes fuzzy just because it's further out there. But we do give you kind of an idea of what could potentially happen. So check that out. Not a whole lot's changed from that video, and we break it down in that video. So if you folks have not subscribed, certainly consider doing that. Like the video if you like it. Thank you all for the support in these slower times. It is very slow. Probably one of the slowest times of the year so far. Even slower than like back in March and April where we had some really slow times. So thank you all for continuing to tune in. It means the world. It really does, guys. I know I say that over and over again like I'm a robot, but I mean it each and every time that I say it. If you guys got anything that I can pray about or pray over, as always, please put those in the comments below. I have not had a chance to answer the comments over the last few videos. I will catch up to all the comments this afternoon when I get a little bit of a break at work. So sorry about that, but I will get to it. So with that being said, let's get rocking and rolling this morning. So I want to show you a water vapor loop. It shows it pretty well. You see the white on your screen. That indicates more moisture in the atmosphere. But one thing I want you to notice right off the dodge, you see how what it looks like clouds. I mean, it kind of is. It's moisture screeching across right in the heart of the country, going just like that. That is a perfect example of a zonal flow. All the extreme cold weather is locked up here in Canada, and the above average temperatures, the well above average temperatures, is down here. Now, I'm not saying we're not getting above average temperatures well up into here, because we are. Okay, we are. But we kind of have a transitional period right now where the ridge is shifting and there's a trough moving across areas of the Great Lakes into the Northeast, where we do have a shortwave trough right here. If you look at this kind of area right into here, this is moving this way. We have moisture that continues to funnel into areas of the Pacific Northwest. And really the ridge is still kind of building kind of up into this region right here. And it doesn't indicate that very well. But in general, you do have a kind of a streak going right across the middle of the country. Just zonal flow if you're a big weather fan and look for, crazy things to happen. Not necessarily life-threatening happens. Let's hope nobody hopes for that. But if you want some interesting weather, you're not going to see it in this kind of pattern. I mean, we do have some moisture out there, but not a whole lot going on as far as above average active weather, if that makes any sense. So let's get this ball back off your screen. Let's keep rolling. So what's falling out there right now? We have a lot of moisture, like I said, over the Great Lakes region. You're dealing with some heavy rain, like in the eastern UP. You might get some rumbles of thunder, some flashes of lightning today in these regions where this shortwave trough is really kind of introducing warm, moist air all the way up into the Great Lakes region. You have a little bit of some flow aloft that's aiding in just some lift and some more convective activity, meaning not just light to moderate heavy rain. You could get some rumbles of thunder and things like that. So we got all this moving across most of Michigan, and we got some more moisture moving in behind this. There's a little bit of a cold air that will try to ooze down, and in fact, it's indicating right here, and you guys will have to let me know if you're tuning in for this region in northern areas of North Dakota, a very small area of heavy precipitation kind of moving through areas of the northern portion of North Dakota. And it's showing that maybe this could be following as some snow. Let me know what you're actually seeing. The radar is not perfect, guys. It really isn't. So sometimes, I got to know what it was actually falling. If you live up there, please let me know. And if you're tuning in, what you're seeing up here in northern North Dakota with this kind of area of showers. And it looks like there's some heavier precipitation with this too. So maybe somebody's getting some heavy wet snow. Maybe it's just a cold rain. But I would be interested to see what's happening in this little blob right here. Then we got very, very widely scattered precipitation across the Pacific Northwest, even into areas of the Sierra Nevada where we do have winter weather advisories, and definitely a lot of heavy rain falling across northern California. We got some precipitation making it all the way to Wyoming and western Montana. Very light, but it certainly is there. We look at the Storm Prediction Center today, and I mentioned the rumbles of thunder, flashes of lightning in the Great Lakes region, and sure enough, there is a general risk of thunderstorms across Michigan today, all the way through Detroit, all the way to Buffalo. So there is a chance that with this low pressure placement moving to the north, you're getting some ingredients that support maybe some storm activity in these regions today. I'm not talking about severe weather, but we could get some thunderstorms. And it's the same thing out here, a little bit of a different setup driving it, but just in general, some convective activity, some rumbles of thunder. You could get some heavier bursts of precipitation, some flashes of lightning. So there is a risk of some thunderstorms out here. So excessive rainfall outlook, it seems like deja vu. It really does. Seems like it's copy and paste the same forecast over the last few days. It seems like this one system over the northern portion of the lower 48 and the Great Lakes region has been kind of moving over these same areas for about 2 or 3 days now. But we do have a risk of some flash flooding in the green area. That is at least a 5% risk of flash flood guidance being met within 25 miles at any given location out here. I'm going to get a sip of water. But, yeah, so same kind of setup. You continue to get waves of precipitation into the western and northwestern U.S. Not a whole lot has changed in the general pattern out there. You look out west, you do have them winter weather advisories in the Sierra Nevada where obviously the higher elevations, this is falling in the form of some winter weather, some snow. You got some flood watches up for a couple counties in southwest Oregon, one county in northern California. Some wind advisories, breezy conditions as just storm system after storm system continues to crash into the western coastline. A couple red flag warnings in southern Colorado and some dense fog showing up here. Some dense fog advisories up for southern sections of Louisiana and several counties in Texas. Elsewhere throughout the entire rest of the country, I'll say it again, it is pretty quiet out there. Not a whole lot going on at all. The southeast today, quiet is the word. Nothing to talk about. It just continues to get drier and drier. If you're really interested in know if there's any rain coming for your neck of the woods, for any state in the South, definitely check out last night's video. And of course, we'll talk about it some more here in the coming videos. But I am watching a system that has the potential to bring some much needed rain. I'm not talking about inches of rain, but some much needed rain for areas of the south central and the deep south of the U.S. and eventually into the southeast like the Carolinas. I think it's really possible we're going to get it late this work week. So we'll talk more on that as it gets closer, when we can know exactly how much rain's going to fall. Of course, we never know exactly how much rain's going to fall until it does, but give you a good idea of range. But as far as today, quiet weather, not a whole lot to speak on. You might get a shower on the east coast of Florida, but might wake up to some very light drizzle, light shower activity in eastern Kentucky, southern West Virginia, western Virginia tomorrow morning. Outside of that, not a whole lot going on. Now the Northeast, most of the day today is quiet. As we're making our way into this afternoon, a thin area, I guess you can say too, of showers starts to make its way into northern sections of New York State. And then we have some showers that begins to get going here in northern Ohio, Cleveland. You could get some showers this afternoon. And then Buffalo, kind of the same thing. Like I said, you do have a risk of some thunderstorms in these areas. So this little tail of these showers right here, you could get some flashes of lightning, rumbles of thunder in this. Okay, and this continues to make its way eastward from the west. And as it does, as we're getting into this evening, northwest PA, northeast Ohio, western areas of New York, like the Finger Lakes region, southwest New York, begins to see some shower activity. And some of these could be heavy. And there is some cold air kind of locked into areas of northern Maine where highs will not get out to 30s today. So as we're moving a little bit deeper into the evening, these showers and kind of areas of heavy rain, embedded heavy rain, moderate to heavy rain, continues to move across areas of the Northeast, Scranton down to northern PA. You guys could get showers throughout the late evening hours into the overnight hours. And then we'll stop it right here. This is around midnight, 1 a.m. Some snow begins to take over northern Maine. Now, it's not going to be an all-out snowstorm. It might not even be enough to put winter weather advisories out. They don't have any out right now for Maine. If they'll drop them, it'll be later on today. But if you stop it here, we got some rain, some chilly rain making its way over Vermont, New Hampshire, western Mass, western Connecticut, maybe all the way down to New York City. Some showers still moving through areas of PA. Maybe some showers as far south as western Maryland. And we continue to move this forward, and good chance you'll wake up to maybe a snow-covered ground again here in extreme northern sections of Maine. And then some warm air tries to make its way in behind this. And it might just be good old-fashioned rain for tomorrow morning, where you might get snow tonight in northern Maine. So, yeah, as far as snowfall totals with this, northern Maine, maybe 1 to 2 inches of snow. These little higher elevations right in here could get a few inches of snow. Not a big winter weather event at all, but it's certainly getting to that time of the year up here in northern Maine where a lot more of your storm systems is more so winter weather than rain, but we're not quite there yet. Still early November, but go on and get ready for that. If you're tuning in from northern Maine, and if you are, definitely let me know. I would love to know. South Central U.S., quiet, nothing really going on whatsoever. You take it all the way to tomorrow morning, and I don't know if anybody will get even a drop of rain anywhere in this forecast region throughout the next 24 hours. It really is quiet, and like I said, it's just a quiet weather pattern right now. The jet is really to the north, so if anybody's seeing any weather, it's really to the north, up into Canada and then the northern sections of the lower 48. So now, the north-central U.S., this system will continue to move through. We will continue to deal with some showers, some chilly showers in the UP of Michigan today, and then we could get that area of maybe some downpour, some shower activity. It does move through, continues to kind of move through the rest of Michigan, eastern Michigan, maybe Detroit sees it, northwest Ohio, and we've already talked about the rest of Ohio. And then we start to get into later this evening, some showers taking over. Might have some snow mixing in with some of this rain in areas of the extreme northern sections of the UP. But maybe some back-end snow for extreme northeast areas of Minnesota. And we have to watch this. It'll be an interesting day if you live in the far extreme northern counties. Like the northern portions of the northern counties, if you will, of northern Minnesota. Some of this rain activity could mix with some snow. That is a gigantic county in Minnesota. I'm not sure what county that is. I'm sure some people will comment and tell me, but man, that is a huge county. Dang. But you continue to move forward, and some of this rain could shift to some snow later this afternoon, early this evening for northeast Minnesota. It could, and then well, getting into tomorrow morning, another system begins to move in. And this will be an interesting system. If you keep this going for tomorrow morning, and then getting into tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening, as we're getting into late tomorrow night, we could be dealing with a minor winter weather event for areas of northern Minnesota, northern Wisconsin, and yes, the UP and Michigan. This will be interesting. There will be a little bit more cold air oozed in. So we need to figure this one out, and this is as far out as it goes, but, it says, hey, maybe some snow, some winter weather for late tomorrow night, maybe into Wednesday morning. So we'll speak on this in the next video and try to get you guys prepared for this for tomorrow and tomorrow night. So Western U.S., we're dealing with a lot of moisture this morning for a lot of Oregon, even areas of Washington State. This will continue to move in. We'll get into about mid to late morning at this point. We got heavy precipitation over Northern California, higher elevation snow. Pretty much the same goes for anybody out west. If you got precipitation moving through these higher mountain ranges and peaks, you got to get pretty high up. It could be falling in the form of snow. Or another round of snow later this morning in Yellowstone National Park, higher elevations bordering Montana and Idaho. Another area of rain moves in to northern Idaho today, and not widespread rains as we're getting into around mid-afternoon. The lower elevations in between the Cascades and the higher elevations of Idaho and Montana, the valley regions, if you will. You guys could get a break, a little bit of a rain shadow event. Snow begins to fall in the Sierra Nevada. Nothing, blockbuster by any means, but certainly some snow. And you just continue to get a funnel of moisture throughout the late afternoon, the evening hours, and just rounds of heavy rain. And some of these could be some thunderstorms. You could hear some rumbles of thunder, things like that. So some of these shower activity make it into Montana. But it's very scattered, guys. It really is. It's everywhere. We got some convective activity just offshore in California. This will try to work into the California coastline, but it doesn't look like it quite makes it. But we're getting into tomorrow morning, and the snow levels look like they're dropping somewhat. So some of these areas that are just going to see rain today in northern Idaho might see a little bit more snow tomorrow, but definitely just widely scattered showers and maybe even some storms out there for the Pacific Northwest, including Northern California, Idaho, Montana, and all you folks out there. As far as rainfall between now and just the next 24 hours, copy and paste from the last few videos. It really is. More moisture up against the Cascades, multiple inches of precipitation. Some of this will fall in the form of snow. And then just these coastal communities of Washington, Oregon. And I wouldn't say coastal, just the closer areas to the western sections of these states. And that does include Eugene, Medford, and Portland. You guys out here, more of a rainy day today. Some gusty winds are possible. And maybe another inch and a half of rain. And also for Northern California too. You guys are going to see some precipitation down here. A good bit of it. Today will be one of your more active days up here in Northern California. And certainly you're going to get more precipitation up against these higher elevations, more lift, squeezing out as much moisture as possible. And some of these higher elevations, guys, over a foot of snow is possible. Same thing with the Sierra Nevada down here. So it's like I said, it's crazy out west. Just all these microclimates, and you're thinking, why is there this weird blob of of snow right here in this region? That's because this is like a higher mountain peak right here, and it's picking up on a lot more snow. And I don't pretend like I know where every single one of the higher peaks in California and out west is. I know the states. If you kind of threw a known mountain to me, I probably could tell you what state it is, but I couldn't point exactly. I could show you the area of the state it's in. I could show you the general area, but I couldn't tell you. The actual exact area where it's at or anything like that. But when I was a kid, believe it or not, I probably knew a little bit more about geography. When I was a kid, for fun, I would get one of those giant road atlases. And I would go and find all the highest peaks. I thought it was so cool. All the highest peaks in all the states. And I knew most of them by heart. It was pretty crazy. But some of that information has kind of gotten fuzzy over time. But anyways, higher elevation snows out here. And you look at Idaho and areas of western Montana and northwest Wyoming. Certainly going to pick up a lot of snow. In northwest Wyoming, these higher elevations, like in the Yellowstone National Park region, Idaho, western Montana, snowpack continues to build up. This is nothing really unusual for you folks at all. But as far as precipitation in general, even inside the lower elevations, certainly, a quarter inch, half an inch of rain is definitely possible. So temperatures, guys, this screams zonal flow. All the cold air is locked into Canada. It's even warm into Canada. Only highs in the 40s. Some of these areas, that's chilly, but I would say for some of these areas, it's probably a little bit around at least average to slightly above average. But, a great example of the gradient today is in southern Wisconsin. I mean, Chicago will hit 70 degrees today, or at least try. All right, you go back, you look last week around this time, right? We were preparing for a few inches of snow for some of these areas, but this week we're getting into the 60s and 70s. All right, so Wisconsin's a big state, for example. The northern section of Wisconsin, only in the 40s. Southern areas, somebody will hit 70 degrees. Man, I can't talk this morning. Monday's hitting me hard. I feel fine. Just my words are acting like it's Monday. But Janesville, you guys could hit 70 degrees. Chicago, Milwaukee, upper 60s. Cold air, I wouldn't say locked into the Northeast. I mean, I would say northern Maine maybe, but definitely continues to be more of a chilly atmosphere up here in the Northeast. 50s for New York City, maybe not getting out the 40s for Boston. And of course, the more you get tucked into the interior areas of the Northeast, the chillier it is. But you go down to the Ohio Valley, the Mid-South, the Southeast, the Deep South, South Central, the Plains, 60s, 70s, 80s. You get down into the southern high plains of Texas. I mean, it's getting close to 90 degrees, guys. So big time zonal flow. There's just no extremes one way or the other temperature wise. There really isn't. I mean, even up here where it's colder, this isn't block busting cold or anything like that. I mean, it really isn't. So I mean, it's cold up here in Minnesota, North Dakota, but I mean, for early November standards, it's nothing extreme at all. It really isn't. But cold air is definitely more so locked up here. And once you get down to southern South Dakota, Iowa, points south, it just gradually warms up more and more. 50s all the way up into Montana, 60s all the way up into eastern sections of Wyoming, and 60s and 70s in eastern sections of Colorado. And it's a little bit more chillier today across the Pacific Northwest, where just waves of precipitation continues to move in. But yeah, guys, that's all I got. You guys have a great Monday. Sorry for the shakiness with the video. Just trying to slow down as fast as I talk in my video. Sometimes I feel like I talk way too fast, and but tried to slow it down there, and it seems like that I still tongue twisted some words. But anyways, guys, it's slow right now. It really is. So just taking more of a slow approach to my videos. But anyways, guys, y'all guys have a fantastic Monday. Smile at somebody today. Bring some positive energy to people today. It's Monday. It kicks a lot of people's butts, but try to make somebody feel great today. God bless all y'all. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.